Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about this tragic case coming out of Philadelphia, where we have this beautiful young lady that lost her life and she left behind six young daughters. I'm not gonna play any news clip. I'm just gonna get straight to the point because I'm sure you have heard um, everything that happened, but I wanted to make the video today because I believe her baby's father, who goes by the name of Raymond Thompson, has been charged with this tragedy. So when I first heard about this story, he may have been in police custody, but they did not officially charge him. But now he's officially charged, so at least some type of justice may come. But of course, that will never bring Ashley Lockhart back. Her children won't ever have their mother and their father ever again, because he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. That's for sure. And even if he ever gets out, yeah, he would have missed a lot of things in these children's life. And we live in a world where a lot of people are just emotionally unstable. Anything, any little thing, any big thing, anything that they could just dismiss, they just make a decision that affects not only their lives but a lot of people's lives. And actually, Lockhart, I'm sure you have seen all the videos how she speak life into her children, and she teach her children to speak life into themselves. I mean, she's doing a phenomenal job. And he's the father of all of the girls, because she was adamant about having one father for all of her children, as she posted on her Facebook. But sometimes we and I could maybe understand why. We don't really know why, but I could speculate probably why she wanted that, because especially in the black community, when you have multiple baby fathers, people look down on you. People look down on you, and they asking themselves why you had to have all those baby fathers. So sometimes you may not be in an ideal situation, but the fact that you don't want to keep on, maybe have a second baby father, a third or fourth, so you just stay in the situation where you should have just been left. And then another thing, if she got a PFA, that means there was some things that were going on, some pans being put on. She got a PFA, but she was still in contact with him, because that's what I heard in the news story. So this is one thing we ladies have to understand. That PFA, yes, that's a protection from abuse, but in reality, if you're going to go that way, in a sense, you would have to, hey, I'm going to do this PFA. You're not supposed to be in contact with the person, because as soon as that person get that order or restraining order, whatever it is, that enrages them. Even if you see they talking to you nice, say, oh, I'll never do it again. Whatever they did that caused you to get the PFA, I'll never do it again. I love you. They saying sweet nothings in you, because we women, we are moved by what we hear. So they telling you everything you want to hear, and then you go back to that person. You going back to your death. And speaking from a person that had a PFA years ago and was still in contact with the person. But the only difference is I'm alive to tell my story. I'm alive to tell my story. But it's like, if you do get this PFA, you, in a sense, you would have to, if you are going to stay in the same place, you have to change your routines. You have to change a lot of stuff. a lot of the things in your life have to change. But in reality, you are supposed to go to another location. If you are living in the, you have to plan, because the majority of men, when they receive that PFA, they are enraged, and then they all logical thinking goes out the door. They don't think logically at all. They just want revenge. And they may not all, take your life, but they're going to make you pay. They will make you pay. That's why, and then these things, I know we want to teach people the signs of those stuff, or when the person is displaying certain things, you need to leave. But the thing is, what we don't understand is that bonding. When you have bonded with this person, whether by having kids, whether by having sexual relations, whether by spending time, so much time with the person, getting to know with each other, that's not easy to leave that person. Easier said than done. People say, oh, you need to leave. It's not easy to leave when you have bonded with that person. That's why some things we not only teach the person the signs of those stuff, but why don't we focus on preventing? What can we do to prevent? Like your intuition. When your intuition tells you that something's off with this guy, when your intuition tells you, hey, all of those criminal activities he's into, he may not be a good choice for you. I mean, some stuff what we can do is, why don't we focus on also preventative? How can we educate younger women, older women too, on how to vet people, just before I even bond with you, before I'm in a sexual relationship with you, to vet you, to know if you're even worth it. So it's not only to just teach the signs of abuse, but also preventative. And then I know they have a GoFundMe for the family, because this family is gonna need, these young girls is gonna need a lot of support, because I know the oldest is like 10 and the youngest is 5 months. So there are people coming in and out, and with the GoFundMe, but the GoFundMe, it will only go so far, because these are little kids. It's not like they are 15, 16, some of them about to go to college. That's young kids. That's young kids left behind. And even if they were to raise 30,000, 100,000, that's only going to go so far with all those children. Granted, I'm not sure how financially literate, the family is. Sometimes you could raise a certain amount of money, and then you're able to create residual income for those girls. But I'm not sure who they are. Maybe they are, maybe they are not. But I'm not sure if they have like a foundation or organization that supports kids like this, like who have lost parents in tragedies like this, to support them all the way up until they are like 18 or 21. Like, you see the foster care system, to care to, if they're with a family, to support them with school supplies and transportation. I'm not even sure if they have that maybe that's too much, but maybe that's what we need, because unfortunately now, you see, this is a viral story. The viral story is a trending story, but it's going to get overshadowed in the next few weeks, in the next few months, by another tragedy. And that's real. And that's what's unfortunate about this situation. It's going to get overshadowed, and people are going to forget, because some other story that is more tragic than this is going to come through on the news, but with an organization or with a group of people that don't forget these girls, that don't forget other children that have experienced tragedy. That is, because those children is going to need not only financial support, spiritual support, mental support, because they're not going to grow up like other kids, because this tragedy happened. And then I'm not sure how the family is, because I heard a cousin of hers, who's a pastor. He was saying that they're that everybody's really not together because they had several deaths in the family, and it seemed like a spirit of death is like over the family in a sense. And because she posted on her page, this is what she posted on the page, and I'm not sure how close the family was. So, but maybe this is what's maybe this tragedy and come together that raise these girls is going to bring them back together. I pray that that does happen. But we have to we have to we have to acknowledge that they may have a hard life. They may have a hard life, but they need support. They need a lot of support, because taking care of 6 children is no joke. And if the person doesn't see them as a blessing instead of a burden, then they definitely gonna have a hard life, because I don't know who is going to be responsible for them. This is such a tragic situation. This is why I always say, don't ignore your intuition. Don't ignore your intuition. Don't ignore your intuition. That will save your life. Don't be too desperate to be in a relationship or to stay in a relationship that you end up losing your life and changing it. Rather you be alone. You can make it. You could take care of your children. And she may have think that, hey, who's gonna take me? I have 6 kids. I might as well stay with him. That's why she might, because you know the stuff that we women tell to say to ourselves, to say stay in certain situations or to do whatever. So we always have stuff we say to ourselves and convince ourselves. And she might have think, hey, and then people on the internet always saying, you have your baby mama, you this, you that, nobody gonna want you. And then she ends up staying in the situation and then still deal with this man, because it looked like in the video she parked there and he just walked up and he was ready. But obviously he said something to bring her over there, that she was, even though she got the order, she was comfortable enough, she felt comfortable, her guards were down enough to meet up with him. But in his mind, he was going to get her. That's what it looked like. Because he just opened that door and just went at her. That was all that rage. Can't even have an open casket. He made sure. It's just like the other story that I saw about this young cheerleader. The guy hit her in the face with the weapon. Made sure you don't have and then you thinking, oh, he's gonna rot in jail, everything. Some of them, they so far gone, they so desensitized, they gonna do, if they give them 30 to 50 years, they're gonna do that 30 to 50 years with a smile, because they know they got rid of you. Stay right there thinking, oh, they're gonna be suffering in jail. Some of them, they are so far gone. That's why you need to know to detect these so far gone men, these desensitized men. You have to be able to detect these people. And no matter whatever people say about some stuff, you won't ever know. You have to be connected to God, because God knows people's hearts and people's minds. Because when we're looking at the outer view, we'll be deceived. But God knows that person's heart. He knows exactly what type of person this person is. This is so sad. Keep these young girls not only in prayer, but if you live in Philadelphia, always check up on, for people, I'm sure she have friends. If Ashley was your girl, if you rock with Ashley, if you would do anything for her, don't ever forget her children. Don't ever forget her children. in every step of their life. If you was down with Ashley, if she was your girl, she was your friend, she was your sister, she was your cousin, don't you ever forget those kids, no matter what. And they got and we don't even know how this is gonna affect their behavior. We don't know, because now they small, it just happened, but we don't know how that's gonna change their behavior, and their behavior is gonna change. But they're gonna need support, and they're gonna need people patient with them, and to be understanding, and to be compassionate, and to see them as a blessing, because their mom saw them as a blessing. And when whoever is left to take care of these kids, may they also see them as a blessing too. That's something. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.